Hey, it's Adam, and in this video, I'm going to quickly explain why things can't make you happy, not even in premise. Now, we've heard this told to us 1,000 times. You've already heard this before. A thing like money. Money can't buy happiness. Or just accept the present moment as it is. Just be grateful for what you have. We've heard this 1,000 times, and it's good advice, but still our lives are still always oriented towards getting some type of external thing. And everything we do in our life is to change our external circumstances to other circumstances that we think are going to make us happier. So we're always chasing after having sex, we're always chasing after having more money so that we can buy things that make us comfortable, things that make our lives easier. And isn't that what makes us happy? Being comfortable and having an easy life? Now, that's not actually how happiness works. And even if you know this intellectually, it still doesn't really penetrate to the core of your being, because everything you do still is oriented towards achieving external comfort. And this is because really at the root, at the core, you don't understand what a thing is. Now, this is so profound. What is a thing? Now, most people aren't very skeptical about their present experience. I've spent the last 3 or 4 years doing some serious spiritual practices that involve sitting down in an empty room and doing nothing, and just breaking down your current present moment experience. And I've gained a lot of insight about what a thing actually is. Now, I'm going to quickly explain what a thing is right now. So here's Adam explaining to you what a thing is. So look, we have a $10 bill here. See? This is a thing. Now, notice how this present moment now is the only thing that exists. This present moment. That's the only way that you know you're alive. It's the only way that you know anything, is through your experience of the present moment. Now notice this present moment is made up of senses. That's how you experience the present moment. You experience it through your 6 senses, which is sight, taste, smell, touch, hearing, and also the 6th sense, which is mind. This is a very, very important sense, which isn't spoken about. You've never learned this in grade 1 or grade 2 because, frankly, people don't understand what mind is. So mind is your thoughts, basically. It's your thoughts about your senses. So you have the 5 senses, right? And then you have the 6th sense, mind, which is interpreting and contextualizing and basically explaining to you what these 5 senses mean. So let's check out this $10 bill, right? So yeah, in essence, you can say, okay, this is a $10 bill. It's made of paper. Oh, this one's actually kind of made of plastic because we live in Canada. So you got a plastic bill here. And what is this actually made of, right? So most people say, oh, okay, so it's made of paper. The plastic is made of carbon atoms, and then the carbon atoms are made of some smaller subatomic particles, and you can just keep going in, and that's what reality is made of. It's just a big sandbox of dumb atoms, and that's what we got, right? But if you do these spiritual practices like just observing the present moment and seeing what it is, what you'll notice is that this $10 bill here is actually made of sight. It's just made of pure sight, pure experience. Isn't that true? Check it out. Look, I'm looking at it right now. It's made of sight. Your sight of this $10 bill is what it is. That's what it is on its most core fundamental level. The most core nature of this $10 bill is sight. And also, this is very important, also, we have thoughts. Now, the thoughts are interpreting what this $10 bill is, and it's giving us a story. It's giving us a context for what we think it is. So these thoughts are going to come in and they're going to project onto this bare sight what it is. So look, oh, okay, so I got the thoughts. Okay, oh, this thing here, this is a $10 bill. This is what it is. And this $10 bill has meaning. It's a currency. I can use this $10 bill to go and buy something else, and then that's what it is. So your whole life, you are looking through the lens of, you have your senses, and then your thoughts come in and they interpret your senses. Now, what's the purpose of the thoughts? The purpose of the thoughts is not to understand what is actually true. The purpose of the thoughts is to serve your ego, is to serve your survival as a separate self. Do you understand? So the purpose of the thoughts has nothing to do with telling you what is true. What the thoughts actually do is they twist and misinterpret bare experience so that you, as a separate biological entity that you think you are, can survive. So you'll look at this $10 bill and you're not going to spend 20 minutes sitting and staring at this $10 bill trying to figure out what its substance is, like I do, because I'm crazy. I'm an insane nut job. So I just sit down and I stare at what the hell this $10 bill actually is, right? No one is going to do this. What you're going to do is you're going to look at this $10 bill and then you're going to label it. You're going to say, oh, $10 bill. You're going to label it in your mind. And then right when you label it, the investigation stops because you already know what it is. You know what it is. It's a $10 bill. So why would you sit down staring at it for 20 minutes? If you already know what it is, there's no reason for any further inquiry. So right when you label an object, it stops. Now, as an exercise, what we can do is we can actually look at this $10 bill and remove the labels, remove the thoughts from interpreting and just stare at it. This is not a $10 bill. So imagine that this is not a $10 bill and just stare at it. This is not a $10 bill. What is it then? Now, see, we've created some space in our mind by not knowing what this thing is. Now we can actually look and understand what it is, right? So as you look and understand for long periods of time, like I've done for thousands of hours of meditation, we start to see that this thing here is actually just made up of impermanent phenomena. So literally what that means is this is literally made up of sight, and it is always constantly changing. It's always in flux. It's transient. It's always changing. So every split second, you can imagine it like the frames per second of a movie, right? Every single frame per second, it's changing. Check it out, right? This $10 bill that you were looking at 1 minute ago is not the same one that we're looking at now, because reality is made of impermanent phenomena. Watch, look, $10 bills here, look, now it's gone. Look, it doesn't exist anymore. It exists as a thought in your mind, but even that thought is coming, existing, and going. Everything is impermanent, meaning that it is born, exists for a split second, and then dies. Every single thing. So, fundamentally, what does this have to do with being happy, right? What does this have to do with being happy? So again, if you spend your whole life chasing after things, right, but you don't understand what a thing is, then see how stupid you are. Like, not you specifically, this is what I do too. The only reason why I'm able to articulate this insight is because I've observed myself doing this millions of times. So you see how silly we are? It's really funny actually that we spend our whole lives chasing after things, but we don't actually know what things are. Isn't that funny? So we think that a thing can give us fulfillment. We think that a formed thing can make us fulfilled. But the Buddha said that the root of suffering is being attached to impermanent objects, transient phenomena. So if you think that anything is going to make you happy, that's actually impossible, because every external thing is temporary at best. So you think that going and having some sex is going to make you happy, right? You think, oh, your sex, it's going to be so amazing for 2-3 hours. It's going to be a grand, beautiful experience, right? But you're not conscious that while you're actually in the act, while you're in the present moment, what's happening is your body is just being filled with feelings. And every split second, these feelings, sure, they feel good, right? But they are being born, they are existing for a couple seconds, and then they die, and then the next feeling comes. And then it's born, existing, dying. Then the next feeling comes, born, existing, dying. Then eventually, you're done. You're done the act. And now, there is no more sex in the present moment. I just spent 2 hours having sex, now it's done. There's no more, right? Now, it's like there's an empty void. I was just being filled with positive, fulfilling experiences, but now they're gone. So now what? Now I feel empty. Now I don't know what the hell to do. Now I'm gonna go eat a bunch of food. Now I'm gonna go play a bunch of video games. Now I'm gonna go distract myself, go make some money, because now we have to fill this void of emptiness. The actual physical object, the actual thing, the act of sex, or the actual money, or even the thing the money buys, can't make you happy because it's going to end. No external thing can make you happy because every external thing always ends. Your beautiful girlfriend eventually is going to grow old, get wrinkly and ugly. Right? Eventually your body is going to grow old and get wrinkly and ugly. And eventually it's going to die and end. So you can't derive your happiness from an external thing. So watch this. Look, I slaved away for this $10 bill, right? I traded my time and my happiness for this $10 bill, right? That's what most people do. Now, I got the $10 bill. Now I'm going to trade it in for a different object. Look, now I just changed the object. This $10 bill transformed into shea butter. This is literally a tub of shea butter. It smells great. Now, this shea butter is also a finite phenomena. It's temporary. It's impermanent. It literally can't ever grant me any permanent satisfaction. So look, I got this shea butter. Check out the inside, right? So the reason why I have this is because I have eczema on my hands and it's dry and cracky, and that's a unpleasant sensation, and I don't like that sensation. So what I do is I take a little bit, right? And I put it on my hands and I rub it in, right? And then this moisturizes my hands. And now I will be free from suffering, because this external object that I traded my time and money for is going to alter the present moment in some way that my ego thinks is favorable. So my ego doesn't like having dried, cracked hands. It hurts. It's it's itchy and stuff, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some cream, put it on, and now, boom, that experience is gone. So, but notice how fundamentally, I actually haven't made myself any happier. What I've done is I've just temporarily ran away from a unpleasant sensation. I've just temporarily postponed it because in 3 hours, this cream is going to dry up, right? And then my hands are going to get dry and cracky again. And then they're going to start to bleed, and then I got to put more cream on, right? Now, what I'm suggesting is that if you understood with consciousness, if you consciously understood what dry, cracky hands are, if you actually understood what they're made of, what is it? It's actually just a sensation of quote unquote pain. You call it pain and you judge it and you don't like it. But if you practiced a lot of meditation and let's say your hands are really itchy and cracky, you can literally just sit there in meditation and observe the feeling of dry hands. You just observe the feeling. And what you'll notice is this feeling of pain actually isn't causing me any suffering at all. But what is causing me suffering is me convincing myself that I have to get rid of it. I have to run away from it. So that's why meditation is so important, because when we sit and we do nothing, what happens is a lot of pain arises in our body, right? And we're forced to just sit there and observe. What is pain? Why don't I like it? Why do I always want to run away from it? And what's so amazing is that, let's say I have a lot of pain in my knee, right? If you sit there and you observe it consciously, you observe the pain, you see it clearly. You see it being born, existing, and dying in every split second. That pain actually doesn't bother you anymore. You can sit there forever with that pain. Now notice how we haven't changed the external circumstance. The pain is still there. But what we have changed is our consciousness of the present moment. So what this is pointing to is that your external circumstance doesn't matter. What matters is your ability to be conscious of what the present moment actually is. That's why many ascetics, like sages and monks, they spend hours and days and months alone in a cave with very little food, very little water. They're cold, their clothes are rough and ripped, but they are able to maintain very high states of concentration and high states of awareness of the present moment. And they can sit there in their cold, dark cave and be so happy and blissed out and chilled. Again, what does this tell us? This tells us that your happiness does not rely on external circumstances, but it actually has everything to do with your internal circumstances. Are you able to accept the present moment as it is? Because sure, you can get that sex, sure, you can get that money and that food. But once you get it, it's nice for a little bit, but then it ends, right? Like a kid on Christmas. Have you ever been a young kid on Christmas? I remember when I was young, I would spend hours looking at magazines, Sears magazines, and I'd spend hours looking at the toy that I wanted, and I would just stare at it. I'd stare at the toy that I wanted, and I'd imagine myself playing with it and how happy I would be when I finally got the toy. And I asked my parents every single day to buy this toy for me for Christmas. And thankfully, luckily, my parents actually would buy it for me. And then I would play with the toy for a week. I'd play with it for a couple days a week, and then I would get bored of it. I'd get sick of it. The novelty would wear off. And then the wanting mind stays the same. So now I want a new toy. I want a new thing. So if you want to be happy, if you want to get the things that you want in life, you have to destroy the wanting mind. That's the quickest path to happiness, is to destroy the wanting mind. Stop wanting so much shit. You want so much pointless external stuff. Why? Why do you want the things? Why do you want things? Again, it's because you don't understand what a thing is. It's literally just anything is literally just a temporary experience. That's all it is. And it's also your thought about it. Like, oh, this thing, this $10 bill is gonna make me happy. Or whatever I can buy with this $10 bill, this shea butter is gonna moisturize my hands, and then I'm gonna be happy, finally, once my hands are moisturized. Right now, my hands are not moisturized, and I fucking hate my life. I hate this present moment. This present moment is shit. How could I ever be happy with dry, cracky hands? How? It's impossible. You're asking me to do the impossible, to be happy with dry, cracky hands. How? How is that even possible? But when I finally purchase this shea butter, oh my God, my hands are gonna be so moisturized. They're gonna smell nice. Look, what is that? Vanilla fragrance? Oh my God. Now finally, my life is complete, and now finally I can sit down and relax and be happy and have beautifully moisturized hands. Wow. And then an hour goes by, 2 hours go by, and the cream starts to dry up, starts to pass, because everything's a transient phenomena. So the cream starts to reveal its transience to you. It starts to disappear, just like everything in life. And then you're like, oh fuck, my hands are cracky again. Now I need more cream. Oh, now I need more. It's like, oh, I need even more cream. I gotta keep putting it on all the time, right? And then I gotta go to my job, and I gotta make thousands of dollars so that I can go buy a Bentley, because that's gonna make me happy, so that I can go get plastic surgery on my face, so that I can buy the most expensive clothes by the designer brands. This is a sickness. This is the wanting mind trying to keep your attention external, because your survival depends on it. Your survival as a separate self requires you to always be distracted with external tasks and external objects. That's how you survive. Because what you are is not a body. You're not a body. What you are in truth is an idea, a concept of a separate self. And in order to keep this idea intact, you have to remain separate from the rest of the world. And this separation from the rest of the world means that objects have tangible value. This shea butter is actually valuable in truth. It's separate from me. It has material worth. It has objective existence, separate from me. If I realize that me and the shea butter are one, if I realize that we're one, what would happen is that I would actually die. The way that I am, the way that I think I am, would die. Because my self-image thinks that I'm a human being, right? I think I'm a human being that is a biological entity that is separate from the rest of the world. Right when you start to become one with the rest of the world, you actually start to die. But what's so funny, what's so counterintuitive is that the only way for you to be happy, the only way for you to be fulfilled is for you to merge back into the oneness, for you to be one with everything. That is the core reason why you chase external things. Sex is a great example, because what we're doing when we're having sex is we're becoming one with another person. We're trying to use their body as a substitute for actually doing spiritual practice and merging into the oneness, which we can call God. Not God as the separate man in the clouds with a beard, but God as the one totality of all of existence that includes you. So instead of merging as one with all of existence, we're just going to merge as one with this finite other body that we think is separate from us. And it doesn't work. So what we're doing is we're using objects as a placeholder for true satisfaction, true fulfillment. But we don't realize that objects are really just transient, temporary phenomena that are just part of our mind, part of the dream, right? So that's why external things literally can't make you happy. If you like these types of videos, this was a little bit ranty. If you enjoyed it, if you had a good time, leave it a like, leave me a comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because there I share a lot of different spiritual practices and a lot of different resources that you can use to gain awareness of the present moment and eventually merge back into the oneness. And this is the supreme goal of life. This is what will give you, quote unquote, maximum fulfillment. But it requires a little bit of work, time, and attention. So that's what we got here. These videos are pointing you in the right direction. If you liked it, leave me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.